Alright, hey everyone. I don't know if you can call it quick, but anyway, just a little video to show off some of my weapons. Some of them I've bought, some of them I've made, and we're doing this basically because I got a bunch of rejected squash from work and finally got around to, you know, something like that. You don't just throw it away, you gotta have fun with it. Alright, to go ahead and get us started is this. It's an Anasazi sword or Ancestral Puebloan sword, depending how PC you want to be. Made this myself from a piece of oak over at the lumber yard. As you can see, I've heat treated it, and I'm not sure what else to say right now before going into a lecture, so let's go ahead and see what this thing does. Alright, next up we've got the wadi, also known as a nulla nulla, and this is from Australia. Again, made of oak because that's what I have access to, and again, heat treated. Good weighty club, and supposedly you could also throw this. I haven't tried that yet, but don't really throw much of anything because I don't have any targets. So let's go ahead and see what this does. Alright, next up we have this ore club from the Pacific Northwest, again oak, and hasn't been heat treated yet because I'm actually not done with it yet. Sometimes made of wood, occasionally made of copper, primarily made of whalebone. This was used, I believe, primarily kind of by the more southern tribes up there, like the Nootka and the Maka. At least they're the names I see attached to a lot of these clubs. Alright, this is the neva pahala, and it's from Hawaii, and I don't know what it's actually called. I haven't seen anyone call it by its original name, because it's usually just called bludgeon dagger, but I call it neva pahala, and that's just combining the Hawaiian words for club and dagger. You got the big bulbous head up here, again heat treated for clubbing, but then you can turn it around and use this sharp end as a dagger, which not as sharp as it was when I was heat treating it, so I'll have to resharpen that, but I don't know, even that, let's kind of see what that does. Alright, this is a Mesoamerican war club. It's one of many variations, or not variations, but rather interpretations that I've seen, because it's based on I think it's Stela 5 at the Mayan city of Uazectan, but I've often seen it described as, the war club that this is based on is one of the signs of influence from the great Mexican city of Teotihuacan. And one of the, this isn't off someone's interpretation, and I'm kind of convinced that we just don't have this down yet, because I've seen multiple interpretations of the same rock carving. And matter of fact, we've got this version that's got wooden keels on both sides. again, based on someone's interpretation. Now, I was able to commission someone to make blades, stone blades. These are made of chert, because chert's kind of sturdier than obsidian. We'll see. Because, I mean, you got this for the main striking, you got the back end for blunt force trauma. Again, if you wanted to incapacitate someone, because that's what the Mayans did, but Teotihuacan, as an expansionist society, you know, would have probably preferred to kill people, you know, less opposition. Again, made of oak, heat treated there, and the blades are held in with resin. It's, you know, an old, basically Stone Age epoxy, you know, where they used a mixture of pine pitch, charcoal, and plant matter to create this, actually this rather sturdy glue. Holding those in. Boy, I'd love to see this thing on a ballistics gel torso, but for now, we'll have to settle for squash. Alright, this is a bat, Mayan bat. It's a weapon that was used throughout Mesoamerica. This particular example was used by the Mayans. In fact, one of the warrior carvings at Chichen Itza shows a warrior wielding two of these. I've kind of reconstructed mine about 1 1/4 inches thick up there. You know, again, it's a blunt edge, but it's an edge no less, channeling all that energy onto that little point. Oh yeah, it was originally called, it's informally known as a bat. I don't know any of the Mesoamerican names for it, having been encountered any, but it was kind of called by archaeologists a bat for a long time because it was thought it was used to, you know, knock aside incoming projectiles. Next is this tltec short sword, and I haven't, again, it's kind of not finished. I might just try to make a new one that's a lot more refined, but anyway, you know, we know these existed from Toltec art, primarily from the what are known as the Atlantean warriors at the temple at Tula. Now, it's naked, and I say naked because this would have obsidian blades inset into it, but haven't done that, mainly because I haven't found someone to make them. But a book I've read on Mesoamerican warfare says that if the blades were broken, is that you could turn it around and still use that as a club. So let's see how effective that is. Alright, this is a alalam, which is the Maasai short sword. It's about 19-20 inches long with a cowhide handle, weighted towards the tip, you know, for that really good chopping action. And these were originally ground down from machetes, either obtained through trade or more likely taken off dead explorers, and then ground down into this sword shape. Alright, this is the healey knife, used by the Afar tribe from the Afar region of Ethiopia. It's curved, double-edged. This one isn't very sharp. I need to have it sharpened, or I can try sharpening it myself. I mean, got all those whetstones out in the garage. But basically, slash, or you can even flip it around and hack, jab. Very wicked knife. Alright, before we get to the grand finale, you know, we've mostly been doing butternut squash, but I do have a couple rejected pumpkins, again from work. So, let's see how one of those stands up to some of our favorites. Alright, here it is. The grand finale. Oh god! The kana bow. This is a Japanese war club, also called tetsubo. And you're probably wondering what I'm doing with the Japanese weapon, if I'm so averse to samurai and all that. Well, it's because it's kind of a paradox. You know, it's this big clumsy weapon being used by warriors renowned for their speed. Anyway, this one's about 44 inches. It could be up to 48 inches. I was basically trying to recreate the one on Deadliest Warrior. The guy said it weighed 30 pounds, and that is bullshit. I weighed this thing, it's about 11 pounds. And even then, it's very unwieldy because, I mean, you have the weight, it's not concentrated at the end like a normal club. It's all along here, and so again that makes it very unwieldy, because I mean, I imagine if this weighed 30 pounds you wouldn't even be able to swing it. I mean, you could probably lift it. I know there's, you know, all the bodybuilders out there who could easily lift it, but swinging is another thing. Now, I've read that one possible use of this weapon was to break the legs of an incoming horse. I mean, I have no doubt I could do that, but it's like you swing once, and then someone can just come up and kill you. So, let's see what the, you know, mighty samurai war club can do to a couple of pumpkins. Alright, so that's that. You actually got to see these weapons being used on stuff. Again, if I had the money, I'd be buying ballistics gel torsos, and then we could really get an idea of what these would do to the actual human body. I actually don't know how much those cost, but I imagine it'd probably be a few $100s at least. Well, then again, the zombie people get ballistics gel heads to test weapons to see if they would be effective against zombies, but then again, it's zombies. Zombies have huge followings, so I'm sure they get plenty of money. But, I don't know, we'll see what the future brings. But I hope you enjoyed this look into some of my weapons. If you want to know more about them, let me know. I might make a video about them, or I might just message you. Or leave a comment and I'll reply to it. So again, I hope you enjoyed that, and hopefully I'll see you next time.